Hello, people. Why am I? Oh, I'm not in the dark. Thank you. Phew. Okay. I have been offline, or at least off YouTube, for way too long. Oh my goodness. What is my hair doing? I am getting over my 100% Virgo perfectionism with this. Okay. Today, I want to tell you about all my updates and what I'm trying to do. I have this really cool, fun intro that I've designed with amazing piano music. If anyone knows how to put it at the beginning of the video, I would greatly appreciate it because I have watched probably 50 YouTubes on how to get that done. Not working. So, anyone that knows, thank you for your help. All right, that's one. Two, I have a fabulous background that I've designed and stuff too, but it's not up yet because I can't reach from my fabulous chariot. So, someday soon, someone will come help me put it up. Maybe I should tell you about my artwork in the meantime. Anyway, that's not what I was going to say. So, the next thing I have to say is I'm very excited that I have my website up. Okay, it has taken me, I don't even want to tell you how long, to be able to really seriously and undeniably claim my gifts. Okay? All of my intuitive, psychic, and synchronistic, and every type of psychic gift you can imagine, from Akashic records to timeline readings to some mediumship, etc. I just, every time I do something new, I surprise myself. So that is something absolutely amazing, and I'm very excited about it. And I just put a couple of offerings on my website. Standard, what I call expert oracle readings, my oracle cards. And today my oracle card said higher power. And I'm like, okay, higher power is telling me get over your fear of not having it all perfect, right? So I decided to just come on and tell you. Anyway, the new website is at opalescent.world. Okay? I know. Isn't that a wild ending? I didn't know that you could have a .world. Since I couldn't get opalescent.com because it was like $9,000 or something like that, crazy. They're not even using it, right? Anyway, I thought opalescent world, that's what I really, really, truly want to create. And if you go on my YouTube channel, I can't remember if it's live or videos, one of the two, you can see my story about how I got my name and what it really means. That absolute, unending, amazing, I can't, there's just not words for it. There's just not words for the depth of what opalescent means. That divine, unconditional, deep, unearthly, I guess that's divine, right? love that goes beyond anything I could ever, ever, ever have imagined. That's what it is. And that's what I wish we could create. So now I have to say, inch by inch makes a mile, right? Inch by inch, slowly, surely, and unwaveringly, we have to create an opalescent world. So anyway, that's it. If you go to opalescent.world, I put up 2 offerings, my expert oracle readings, and I'll tell you those have just turned on my psychic skills from the very beginning. And I also have my enchanted divination readings, which is this really wild way of, I tune into people's higher self and we ask the question, and then I put on my wild. Every time I do this, I always have to reach. I remember the name Velcro. So it's got a Velcro strap. Put it over my eyes, put it around my head. Cannot see anything at all. This is actually called a mind fold. They're amazing. So put that over my head, close my eyes, get my pastels and my sketchbook. And there are 48 colors. Each of them have a meaning, but the meaning changes depending on the shapes, the position, the type of drawing, etc. Okay? What I never expected when I was doing this, the colors tell me, they actually tell me what they want me to draw. If they want me to draw arrows or circles or squares or just shading, they tell me what and they tell me where. And then together we decode the message. It's absolutely fascinating. I cannot tell you how much I have not only learned, but just been astonished by the depth and the course on pointedness of the message, because as you know, it's not me, it's spirit coming through. So that's amazing. And another thing I thought I'd tell you too is I have a special bundle holiday treat. And it's on my website. It's called Your Holiday Treat. And it is 1 oracle reading, 1 enchanted divination reading, and I recorded this absolutely amazing meditation that I have taught and told people about and guided people through many, many times over the years. And people absolutely love it. So finally, I decided, hey, I should record this. So I put together a slideshow and a meditation. I recorded the meditation, and there is this absolutely gorgeous piano music behind it. So, and that is part of something else that I've been up to lately while I've been gone from my YouTube channel. And that is, I am putting together all the pieces. And believe me, there are a lot of pieces. I'm trying to put together all of the steps and all of the process and what it's going to look like for something that I am developing. I am not So I've recorded this meditation. This is my first part. It's called the Soul Path Mystery School. And it is going to be absolutely out of this world, okay? And what it is, there are pieces, pillars, the foundational pillars of how to have a very, very mindful spiritual practice. And that will look different for everyone, okay? So we go through different pieces that you might want to incorporate into your practice. But of course, if you really seriously want to get on your path, even if you don't know what it is, you have to have a spiritual practice to get there. And I'm not talking about sitting in your zafu for 6 hours a day. I'm not even talking about sitting in your zafu for an hour a day. You can do this with very small, manageable chunks. Excuse me, my phone is blowing up. It's been blowing up for about 2 weeks. Anyway, I forgot to silence it. Sorry. Everything's a learning adventure, right? So these pieces of your practice are essential for being able to connect with and connect with spirit and hear what your steps are. Today I heard very clearly, get on YouTube, make a video, even if everything is not fabulous. And I don't have a whole lot of time because I actually have occupational therapy today for my hands. We'll see where that takes me because I haven't had any of that for God knows how many years. It's been a very, 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 very long time. So we'll see what that brings. Anyway, and I promised the last time I was on that I was going to tell you this hilarious story. And that's another thing I've been working on, is trying to get my stories in some semblance of order. But this one is just out of the blue, okay? So in 2000, I believe it was in 2003, I started studying with James Twyman, the Peace Troubadour. He launched his seminary program, and it was called this. It was called the Seminary of Spiritual Peacemaking. I'm looking at my wall. I actually have my Master of Divinity diploma on the wall. So I started studying with him, and I was in, LOL, this makes me laugh. I was in the first class of the seminary because I have a tendency to kind of do things on the crest of the wave, right? So I got in on the first seminary program that he did, and there were 400 of us from all over the world. All over. There were people from, well, it was Russia back then, but I'm trying to think which. It's not Tajikistan. I'm not going to remember the name. Maybe I will before I end, but from one of the countries that used to be part of Russia to Finland to Slovakia. I mean, there were people from all over the world, Argentina, all over the United States and Canada, etc. So that was amazing. And it went on, and I went to 2 different retreats in Ashland, Oregon. That was an adventure for me because I went alone and, got on a plane and blah, blah, blah. It's hard being a chariot driver, but I didn't have a motor back then. I had a manual chair. So it was a mini chariot. How's that? Or a non-motorized chariot. I couldn't run you over back then. So I went and I did this whole seminar program, and it took, 2 years and a lot of reading, a lot of reports, and a lot of projects. It was absolutely amazing. Anyway, so it was fabulous. It was wonderful. I had tons of connections, which is just what I needed when I was literally homebound. I couldn't drive. I couldn't do much back then. But anyway, so this was fabulous. And years and years and years later, and I don't know when it was, but I'm going to say it was probably 10 years later, okay? Fast forward, I get invited to someone's birthday party at her house in her backyard. There were tons of people there. I didn't know very many people. I knew her, and I knew a few people from the area, but there were people from all over the place. And her boyfriend was there, and I knew who he was, but I'd never met him or never talked to him, right? So at one point, I'm kind of close, standing next to him, and he's talking and talking and talking and talking. And all of a sudden, I don't know what struck me. Of course, that's how things work, right? And I just turned to him and I said, "Do you know James Twyman?" Because he kind of reminded me of Jimmy at that time. And he just, I don't know, something hit me and I asked him that question. And he turned and he looked at me, and all of a sudden he starts yelling, just like, I'm serious, just like yelling at the top of his lungs, "Oh my God, it's you, it's you, it's you. I can't believe it, it's you." And I'm just like, what the hell, right? And I'm like, "It's me. What are you talking about?" He goes, "James Twyman, I know. You're the one that he carried up the mountain on the backboard." And I was just like, oh my God, how does this guy even know this, right? And when he finally calmed down and just kind of came back down to earth, he's like, "I know James Twyman. I know him. I've known him for a long time. I went on that first trip with him when he went to Majority and wrote the book, The Beloved." Oh, what is it? I can't remember. I'll put it in the show notes because I know just where the book is, okay? So, James Twyman and a whole bunch of people carried me up this mountain because one of the tenets of the Seminary of Spiritual Peacemaking was to leave no one behind. And they were all going to walk up this mountain, and they were jumping off this mountain into this ice cold mountain water. Even though it was summer, it was really cold. And as each person jumped, they were either like making a commitment or releasing something, one of those things that hold us back, right? Self-doubt, unworthiness, all of that garbage, not enoughness. Release all your not enoughness, right? So they could not. They tried to get me halfway up the mountain, pulling my wheelchair, pulling and pushing, and it wasn't happening. So finally, they decided to put me on a backboard, and they tied me down with this really, really thick rope. I have pictures of me standing up and them tying me to the backboard. They carried me up the mountain, had to cross the mountain stream. It was amazing. It took hours, hours and hours to get me up there. And once I was up there, it was really hard because I couldn't stand, I couldn't walk. I needed something very grounded to sit in if I was going to sit. So they positioned the backboard on some rocks and it held still, and I could actually see people jumping off. It was amazing. It was absolutely amazing. So anyway, finally this guy settled down. Chuck Smith, if you're watching, I'm talking about you now. So, oh my God, I can't believe this story. I still can't believe it. It happened probably 10 years ago and I still can't believe it. So I asked him, do you know James Twyman? And he started screaming, it's you, it's you. And yes, I was the one that, but it was amazing. He didn't even ask like what my name was or anything, but he probably knew. I don't know if he actually knew, but he probably knew that at some point along the way, or he found out or whatever, that I was from Wisconsin. And of course, he was at a birthday party in Wisconsin. So when I asked that question, it jogged something in him, and he knew I was the one that got carried up the mountain. What I didn't know at that time was that Jimmy was telling the story wherever he traveled, and he travels a lot. He speaks to large groups and people all over the world all the time. And he was telling the story about this woman that he carried up the mountain on a backboard. So there's my one moment of fame, right? But it was hilarious. I just cannot even believe all of a sudden screaming, it's you, it's you. Anyway, that's my story. I hope if you have a chance, if you're interested, please check out my website. Just because I had a professional photographer take gorgeous pictures. I just, every time I see those pictures, I'm like, is that really me? Anyway, thank you, Tana Newberry, for all of your work and help and guidance in that. She's amazing. And people wishing you, hoping you had a fabulous Thanksgiving. I was at a friend's house. It was amazing. And have a fabulous week. I'm going to leave that holiday treat offer up for probably through the holidays at least. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, so I can't tell you when it's going to end, or maybe I'll have to come back out and say, hey, you only got 2 more days, okay? So for now, it's up. It's half off for both of those readings, and that beautiful guided meditation turned out way better than I would have ever imagined. Thank you, Tam, again for your help. And make it a wonderful, fabulous day. Minute by minute. You know, sometimes crap happens, things don't turn out, and you just have to say, okay, this didn't turn out, but I can't let that hold me down. I got to turn it around and find a different way to make things happen and make yourself happy. All right? Wishing you happiness and peace. Take care. See you soon. Bye-bye.